Johnny and Justin were two simple Imagineers at Disneyland until they dared to ask the question,
Hey Justin, is Disney diverse?
Well, Johnny, I'm not.
Oh no, we've angered the mouse! Stormtroopers, run! Holy crap, it's a gathering of cookies!
Now, from undisclosed locations within the Disney park, Johnny and Justin record a podcast where they seek to answer the question, is the Disney catalog diverse?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of not Disney+Diversity, but Plus Diversity, where we just go through and me and Justin talk about a bunch of nerdy stuff that we're going to talk about anyway. And on today's show, we got a very, very, very special guest with us today. In the house, we got Mr. Jezzer Reyes.
Woo! Jezzer Reyes.
Our old school henchman, bro. Good to have you back in the house. Good to see you again, Jazz. How's life been? What you been up to?
Good. Staying quarantined, still working, doing things here and there. I still doing things with the Illuminati, but I also joined up with my barber. He wanted to start a YouTube channel, and he asked me if I wanted to join and help out, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I got time. All we got is time, right? So
exactly. Wait, so what are you talking about with your barber? Haircuts?
Oh no, we talk sports, and lately we've been talking Falcon and Winter Soldier and Marvel stuff, UFC, basketball. So it's a wild array of different things. So
that's dope. Speaking of sports, just got to ask you something now because you are a fan of it. How you feel about that? How you feel about that? Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather.
That, dude, you know what? It's good. It's good that, these YouTubers are getting some exposure, trying to become boxers, become more than what they are. But I feel like it's damaging to the actual sports that they're, competing in. It's, I don't know. But I mean, that's just me. I'm not trying to say, I want to get in the ring with anybody, but I'm not saying he's not a real fighter, but I think that after that, what was that first Nate Robinson fight? I was just like, come on, man.
Nah, I agree with you. Like after seeing, for me, the Nate Robinson one, it was like, dude, it's expected. He's actually been training. You're an NBA basketball player. If this is a one-on-one game, sure. But with this last one, when he fought the UFC dude or whatever, like I remember the weigh-in, I was like, that dude has a bigger gut than me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, he did not show up. He did not show up to fight. This man showed up to get a check.
Yep. And you know what? Get your money how you get your money, but that's not boxing to me,
That's totally fair, man. Yeah, that's totally fair.
But you know what? Here's the thing today. We're maybe talking about boxing right now and fighting, but today we're actually talking about a certain fighting movie that just came out. Today we're talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so super excited to see this. Super excited to talk about y'all. But just talk about like the Mortal Kombat movie franchise in general. We all know about the video game, but like, what did y'all think about the first previous two Mortal Kombat films?
The first previous two?
Yeah.
I was just now watching the first one, but before I watched the new Mortal Kombat, I watched Annihilation, and honestly, it did not hold up like whatsoever. It was a terrible movie. I don't even know why they even made it. There was a scene that they used when Baraka fell into a fire pit, and it was the exact scene when I think Rain fell into a fire pit.
Yeah.
Like they really just took a lot of shortcuts, and I don't know. I like when I see people complaining about this movie, it's like it's not that worse than what we've been getting before, and
No, I feel you.
Annihilation is garbage. And like you said, Jezzer, it's bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad. I remember going to the theater and hating it when I walked out. And I was like, I don't think I like Mortal Kombat anymore. And I just remember, I don't even know where to begin on the terribleness of that movie. Raiden's new look sucks.
Oh my gosh, that was so dumb.
Scorpion comes back. No reasoning how he came back.
No.
There's a line where it's like, you look like Katana to Milena, and she's like, yeah. That's it. We don't do anything else with that.
Wait. Scorpion came back?
In Annihilation, yeah. He had the two whips that he fought Sub-Zero. And
yeah.
Right? And it's like no explanation as to how he came back. Exactly. I get it, like he's from hell and crap, but like you just showed up. Yeah, and it's stupid. I hate it. The first one though. I have fondness of the stupid first one. I like Robin Show. I love Kiriki, who we talked about on Johnny Tsunami, who plays the grandpa on Johnny Tsunami. But of course, for us, we definitely know him as Shang Tsung.
Yeah, he is literally the best part. He is the best part of that first movie. I think he is the. He stole the show. I think that he stood out above all of them, and maybe like second would be probably Johnny Cage, only because his comedic timing and everything that he had was great.
I mean, his name is Johnny. He's that naturally great. So I mean,
I guess you're a little biased on that, but it's fair. And I got a soft spot for Christopher Lambert. I like his cheesiness and etc. And he is the Highlander, so I got no problem here. So, Johnny,
dude, first Mortal Kombat when that came out. I'm sorry, for me, the first one still holds up to this day. I'm sorry, that shit is hot fire. Like, literally, they were like, look, the best thing in this movie is the song. And we're going to drop this thing every 5 minutes if possible. I don't care if it's a big fight to end, or if we're just fighting some henchmen, or if someone's on the subway. We dropping this song.
Yeah.
We got company.
That sounds fire.
It is. Holds up to this day. And honestly, I agree. Like Christopher Lambert, his rating, so good. Again, he does a great job of it. He knows how to pull it off and everything. And then again, Shao Kahn is so good. Your soul is mine. It was like, shit, my soul maybe is his. And so again, it has all these dope moments to it. And it got some dope one-liners in there too. Like that fight between Sonya and Kano, where he's like, oh, come on, love, give me a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, she just killed this dude. And then again, some of the fight scenes still hold up. Johnny Cage versus Scorpion was such a dope fight scene. Goes down, cuts my man's open, leaves him there, explodes, and then you're just seeing the rubber all of a sudden. Boom! Johnny Cage's picture hits the ground. To my biggest fan, I was like, yes, this is so good. It's so clutch. And then my favorite fight, Johnny Cage versus Goro. Again, super dope and everything like that. You know what? We just might have to do a review of the
OG Mortal Kombat.
Because I'm gonna keep fanning out on that one because that shit was fire. Okay, now Annihilation. No, I want my money back.
All right, I was like, what was gonna say?
I want my money back because I remember going to see that at theater as well, and I was just like, oh, this shit just lost all of his budget. Like, I remember when Raiden flipped down after he, quote unquote, became human, and he's doing this cheesy flip with the worst grabs I've ever seen. He's like, did this motherfucker just show up in khakis? Like, what?
Yeah.
And a buzz cut.
Yeah, buzz cut.
No,
I don't.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to wear the wig any longer,
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to take some shortcuts.
And then there was a whole thing with the animatality. You gotta tap into your animatality.
That dragon that Luke Luke Kang turns into is garbage.
Oh, that was such a terrible thing.
Garbage.
Again, it's kind of sad too, though, because I feel off the momentum of the first one. you had actually done something. You built some lore. You low-key got us a ball in. And again, I still remember the ending of the first one though, where he's like, where the Emperor shows up. He's like, I'm coming for you.
Shao Kahn. Yeah.
Shao Kahn shows up. He's like, I'm coming for you. And the Raider's like, I don't think so. Cool. And then the music. And I was like, oh,
especially with that iconic voice, Frank Welker. You know, like you know, it's just like, dude. And then they made him a human in Annihilation. I was just like, dude. What is going on?
So terrible.
It's like, you remember the dumb shit line, like when Sindel came out and then Katana was like, "Mom, not anymore," some crap.
Oh my god.
It's like
the lines were terrible. The lines.
So
and
bad.
then and just the fact that like with a lot of the like half the characters, they recast them and they try to play it off like
nothing happened.
Yeah, like nothing happened. It's like,
no, like Sonya Blade was recast, Johnny Cage was recast, and
Johnny Cage was also killed, which was terrible.
In the first 5 minutes.
Travesty.
Raiden was recast.
Like it's like Robin Show and Katana.
That's
stuck
it.
around.
I think
you're right. That's it.
They're the only two, yeah. Because even Jax was recast.
Jax was recast. That's right. There was a different Jax in the first movie. I mean, I have a fondness for Robin Show's Liu Kang as well. I kind of like that. You know, he was funny. He was funny. He got this kind of own sense of humor, etc. I love the bit where he threw the Johnny Cage's luggage across over the boat in the first movie. So you know, but that's the old movies.
Yeah.
Now it's God knows how many decades it's been. It's back on the big screen or the small screen, depending how you're watching it. So overall, Mortal Kombat 2021, new take on a lot of things. They introduce a new concept, a new character. So so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let the tournament. Well, I can't say let the tournament begin. That's the thing I'm going to hold on to later.
I got something to say about that, definitely.
Oh, yeah, so do I. But let's get into it. Let's talk about this film overall. What was everyone's reaction when they saw the trailer and their feelings about it when they finally got around to watching it?
So,
Jezzer, I guess.
Yeah, so I think when the first trailer came out, the thing that got me super hyped was this exact scene where Sub-Zero or Bihan like stabs Scorpion and uses his blood and turns it into a blade. That scene alone just sold me on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like a few days before the release of this film, they released the first 7 minutes. I think can't remember who did it. That first 7 minutes, the tone of that was amazing. Like it was amazing. Like it was like it would have been if that was the tone of the film throughout. Like the groundedness of that 7 minute scene, I would have been happy. I would have been like, this is the perfect like video game adaptation. I mean, obviously there was some hiccups along, after that 7 minutes, but that was my reaction for my first reaction, definitely.
No, I'm okay with Jezzer. Like when I saw the trailer, like when it first came out, between this and Godzilla versus King Kong, I was like, I'm so looking forward to actually having HBO Max now.
Yes.
This is paying for itself. Way to go. Again, super excited. That first trailer, I was like, again, those trailers I watched over and over again, just excited for the property. Saw Godzilla versus Kong. We talked about that on here. Did the job, lived up to the hype. Saw this one, totally agree. Those first 7 minutes feel like an entirely different movie. Those first 7 minutes is like, oh, y'all going for Academy Awards here. Y'all trying to do something better here. This is legit. Like literally, I agree with you. They've done that tone for the first 7 minutes, carried out the whole film. I would have like, this might be one of the best movies of the year. Like this is amazing. You could build a whole like franchise off of this. Like I would have been like, man, fuck the MCU. Mortal Kombat was going down. MKU, son. But no, that's not exactly what happened because after those first 7, and the trailers also kind of lie too.
Yeah.
Because in the trailers, you're like, oh, there's going to be the story of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be the main characters. Then you start watching, it's like, oh, this is not what we thought at all. This is not what we thought at all. Justin?
Yeah, no, to kind of piggyback off of you too. I mean, I've been kind of keeping track of the production of this movie, when they made all the casting, etc. And I was all, I follow actually the majority of the actors on like social media. So every time they post something, went, okay, let's see how we're doing here. And it looks like it could be okay, maybe. But yeah, once that first trailer dropped, I was like, all right, that could be It could be pretty cool. And I actually decided to avoid any, like, I didn't see the first 7 minutes when they dropped. I figured, like, I'm gonna wait until the film's coming out. I got HBO Max. I can watch the whole thing. So when I watched the movie, I'm sitting there going, like, okay, this movie's pretty dumb. Like, this movie's pretty dumb. I think I'm mostly okay with it, but I don't think it's a good movie. But there's some cool shit here, but there's a lot of stupid shit in here. It's one of those things where I feel like here's the thing. Annihilation, I will stand by. I think it's something we all kind of agree. Annihilation, we don't like. So
no, it's terrible.
I don't think it's any question for me to assume, at least in my hat, this is clearly not Annihilation bad.
No.
But I think I still prefer the original 90s movie to this one, in this factor that that one, even though it's not like, listen, that's not an Academy Award winning script, but it's a little more focused. This one, it's like everywhere. It's like you guys said, it's like the trailers make it seem off. It's the story between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and Louis Tan's character clearly being the descendant of Scorpion. So I thought that was a big part of the story. Not really.
No.
It's like you get all these characters out of nowhere that just show up in the middle of Act 2. You get all this sort of talk repeatedly about the tournament and not fighting, and trying to defeat win the tournament, and then there's no tournament.
Yeah.
It's it's a very strange structured movie,
So I'm just gonna say right now, spoilers, y'all. Spoilers. We're just gonna get into it.
Are you kidding me? That's a spoiler.
I should start telling this episode. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
For our initial thoughts, like pretty much I think like just said, we're all in agreement. It's better than Annihilation. The first one is like maybe probably heads of it, but yeah, let's go and jump into it. So legit. Honestly, like think about this was that like I thought from the trailer it was going to be about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and I was extremely disappointed to find out it wasn't. It was based upon this new dude. What's the homie's name?
Cole Young,
the most basic name ever.
Oh,
I guess not. I mean, John Smith would be more basic.
I guess that's true. If his name is John Smith, yes, true.
But it is pretty basic though. It's pretty much like pumpkin spice latte of names. But dude, homie was just trying, and I felt again they were trying to make him the lead character, but it just wasn't there. And honestly, after those first 7 minutes where they show like Scorpion in Japan, they show his family getting murdered, him being attacked by Sub-Zero, was totally took me by shock because like when Sub-Zero shows up, I thought they were going to do the whole thing like from the video games where like this is a Sub-Zero that's a hero. So if Sub-Zero shows up, starts dropping bodies, like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting this. Because even in the video games, a lot of times Scorpion is portrayed as a villain. So they kind of switched it up on me. But I was like, I'm on board with this because what's the homie's name that was playing Scorpion?
The actor who played Scorpion?
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
His name is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Hiroyuki Sanada, yeah.
Hiroyuki Sanada was lied to. They told this man they were submitting this to the Academy, and that man brought it every scene he was in.
He does it every single time. Yeah. Every movie he's in, he kills it.
He kills it.
Like, it doesn't matter how cheesy it is. He's like, no, I'm taking this seriously. And honestly, he was like my favorite character here because he was bringing it. My second favorite character here. Y'all might look at me crazy for this.
You're gonna say, I know who you're gonna say.
I think so too. Go ahead.
Kano.
Okay.
Kano film. Oh my gosh. They're like, let's give all the jokes to Kano, have him do as much stuff as possible. And Kano was carrying the first half of this film for me.
Yeah.
Make yourself at home.
Yeah, I have. Oh, by the way, your beer is shit and you're almost out of it.
Just jokes after jokes, and they were landed. Go ahead, Jess.
The one scene that like I haven't laughed this hard in any film, and it was such a subtle scene. So they meet up in the desert with Liu Kang. I'll get to Liu Kang's little what they did wrong with Liu Kang here, but he's all, oh, you shot fire from your hands, and it's like, am I gonna learn how to do that? And then he goes, he puts his hand on his shoulder and tells him something, and then the subtle line that Kano delivers is,
hang the fuck on. Does that mean I'm gonna get superpowers at any point? It does, doesn't it?
There's much to learn. The fuck? But not.
the fuck? Like, he was just like,
Yes,
that was pretty funny.
I remember that. No, I love that line. I also love like they're in their training and then the training montage or whatever. And Cole Young, pumpkin spice latte, is training against what's homie's name with the hat?
Oh, Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
He's over there trading against Kung Lao, and and Kano's on the side talking mess. And Cole's like, "I like to see you try." Is like, "What? Try getting beat up by a hat?" And I was like, "Oh,
Every single time." Literally, his character or his comedic role was what we got with Johnny Cage in the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was disappointing because at some point, we said spoilers, they made Kano become like a villain where he kind of turns on the group, becomes traitor, goes full Judas or whatever. But I was like, that's where you messed up at. That man was helping this film as much as possible. Like when you see him on set and you see how everything's going, it's like, yeah, we need to change the script. We need to change this script. Need to keep him on the side of the good guys. Because I remember the same thing happened in Star Wars when they got on set and Poe was supposed to originally die, but they saw the chemistry between Poe and Finn. They saw like cool Poe was. They're like, yeah, let's just change this up real quick. We got to keep this dude alive.
Yeah.
So I feel they should do the same thing with Kano because he was the best thing going because everyone else, including Liu Kang, was kind of terrible. Jezzer, I'm gonna let you go on Liu Kang. I'm just gonna say this one thing about him. When they show Liu Kang out in the desert, when they're approaching, and you see the silhouette, it reminded me of the homie from the first movie. I was like, oh, give me the vibes. Oh, the nostalgia's coming back. Then he started acting. I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to explain why?
I think this is where they're like people misinterpreted who Liu Kang was going to be in this film. Like a lot of people, like they're basing all of the info or all of their like biases from the first movie because he was the chosen one, you know. And in this film, multiple people are chosen based on the mark that they get, representation. But it felt like this movie was a prequel to like the Mortal Kombat that they're trying to build. I think that Liu Kang's character here, like people were giving Liu Lin a ton of hate, but I don't think they're understanding the character arc that they're building for him. He in this film, his all of his confidence is based on his relationship with his, was it cousin? Kung Lao is
cousin,
Kung Lao,
his cousin. So his cousin is looked upon as the Liu Kang from the first film. Like he's the chosen one, the representation from the Temple of Light, that he is going to be the one that wins the 10th tournament for them and, you know, push them over the top and, you know, keeps them going. But so the development here is once Kung Lao is gone, Liu Kang feels his confidence is shattered, and you know, hopefully they make more movies. They're gonna build him up to be a stronger character and have him have a bigger arc. I think that one of the biggest mistakes was creating a whole new character to give the audience a look into this world when there are a ton of characters they could have done it with. I mean, they could have done it with Sonya. They could have done it with Sonya, or if they were to include Johnny Cage, they could have done it with him. You know?
Yeah. No, I kind of want to add to that, Jezzer, because I think it's a good point. Like, you could have done it with Sonya, especially because Sonya's plot, her entire plot in this movie is she doesn't have the marking, right? They made a big deal about that.
Yeah.
And that's enough for a lead, in my opinion, to be the lead of the story. Here's the thing, like Cole Young, from what I've heard, by the way, like Cole Young was a studio note for years.
Yeah.
Like when they were developing the script, every writer who came in, the studio was like, we insist that the lead character is this insert new character. And I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe it's they want to find a way to avoid doing the first movie again and having Liu Kang be the lead or what have you. I will say that the positivity I'll give it in terms of what they did with Cole Young is at least they cast another Asian guy as the lead of this film. I mean, 20 years ago, I guarantee you that wouldn't have been the case. They would have been like, well, we got two guys who are Asian. You know,
I think we only had two Asians in the original film.
We only had
Katana was Puerto Rican. Was Puerto Rican.
We only had two Asians in the original. It was Liu Kang. Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. Like even Sub-Zero and Scorpion weren't Asian guys.
I think they're Hispanic or white.
Yeah. So I'll rip this bandit up now. I at least am relieved to see this movie be like, no, we got a Japanese guy as Raiden, we have another Asian guy as Kung Lao, we have another Asian actor to play Liu Kang. We're not, you know, we have Shang Tsung, you know, being played by another Chinese actor. We're not, and then Sub-Zero is played by Indonesian actor Joe Sam, who's awesome in Warrior if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, you got a lot of at least they got. Oh, and of course, Hiroyuki Sanada as a Scorpion. So at least they're like not afraid to try to cast a lot of multiple Asians and just pat themselves in the back, going, "We gave you 2." But to go back to that, at the very minimum, I'm glad at least Cole Young is played by an Asian actor. But I will sort of kind of add to this, where it's like the thing with this creation is that it's like he's nowhere near as interesting as anyone else on the film, because we don't know. He's basic male action movie lead. I have a family, I have a protection, I'm down and out, etc. And Louis Tan is fine. I've seen him in other things. I think he has potential to be really cool and stuff, but I also felt like him here was like he was asked to just be basic lead. And it's all right.
I don't think he I don't see him as a the hero lead. Like I can definitely see him as a villain. I can definitely see him as a villain.
In the show Wu Assassins,
he's too tall and good looking. He's too tall and good looking to be a hero. I was like, I can't relate to you. Oh, you a villain? Makes sense.
In the show Wu Assassins, he plays like the Han Solo type.
Okay, I can see that.
Right, like roguish, cool dude. He's a lot of fun in that show. But here it's whether it's the writing or just simply just how he was directed here. It's not a real strong lead. And with Ludi as Liu Kang, I'll even add the thing that I loved most about Robin Shao. I said it before, was like with Robin Shao was Liu Kang. He had a sense of humor. He was allowed to be funny. He was allowed to be relatable. The moment I saw Ludi here and I started hearing him talk, he went right back to exposition and talking like he's an ancient monk stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right.
I think that's why they needed to up like Kano's lines or have a little bit more involvement with Sonya with some of the dialogue. I think that was the major downfall with this film versus the first film is the setup wasn't there. It felt like they rushed it when they didn't have to. I mean, this movie felt really short. It felt rushed. If we were to make it a little bit longer and add a little bit more exposition, a little bit more setup, like you said, like if Sonya was, if they started right after the 7-minute intro and they started off with Sonya and Jax and finding the marking and how Jax got the marking and building off that, and then leading into Cole, maybe I think it would have been a little bit more concrete of a story.
I agree. And the problem with it is though, is that like you can tell that this was a studio edited script, and what I mean by that is though it went through a lot of revisions because there's a lot of storylines there that never actually pay off. The things are mentioned, but they don't actually go into detail about. Like at the early part of the film, when they meet his wife is like, but you didn't even know his wife is there. It's his girlfriend, it's his kid sister. They don't really establish it quickly till like a little bit later on. But she's like, I don't watch him fight anymore. But they never really explain why. You kind of got to imply maybe because he's a loser or some of those lines, but they doesn't really explain why she doesn't watch his fights anymore, even though she still supports him doing it. So they just kind of let that fall to the side. Then at the very beginning, that 7-minute sequence that we love at the beginning, they Sub-Zero speaking Chinese, but they never go into they so like, why are you speaking Chinese? Like what's the purpose of this? Like this again.
Why does Sub-Zero have a problem with Scorpion?
Exactly. Like again,
they don't explain it.
No. And again, it's like Sub-Zero. Like again, like okay. First, I was trying to do like maybe some history between Chinese and Japanese, because again, like those two countries have had conflict at different times of history. There's a lot of history there. So maybe we're trying to explore that, but like no, you never go into detail about that. You don't really go into detail about the whole like legend. We don't hear about that till like the later half of the movie. And so there's just a lot of points where like their storylines are introduced that they don't really follow up on, and it feels kind of rushed. And I agree. Like if they just take some time and just done some solid exposition of building up this world, take your time, it'll be a lot better. Because for example, they established that Scorpion went to hell and he's been fighting his way out of hell. I'm like, why couldn't a part of the movie have just been that? Like, I would like to see, like, what is he doing in hell to fight his way out and everything like that? Mastering Hellfire, saying I need to get back to my family. I'm like, a good portion of that movie can be dedicated to him, while you're also coming back to the human world. And going what you said, Justin, folks, on maybe Sonya and Jax figure out exactly what is Mortal Kombat. Yeah. It's like you could have balanced those two things and make a much deeper story. Jess?
So I felt like we've been duped when they kind of shot the trailer and you thought it was going to be based off Scorpion and Sub-Zero. The last time I felt like that was the first rebooted Godzilla film, when Bryan Cranston was he was marketed and as being part of the film, and his storyline just fell flat. I think that was the issue. They chose the wrong person to focus the film on. If they focus the film on a Scorpion and Cole's involvement with that, like what if what if the former champions, like what if Sub-Zero was because they don't even explain that if he's immortal or not. Like what if Sub-Zero was like the winner of multiple championships or whatever, and the person that was the biggest threat was a descendant of Scorpion's family. And that's why when Cole came out to be like the descendant, that Sang Sung felt so threatened right away. Like they never explained why he was threatened right away. Like he was threatened right away, like to the point where like, oh, stop him right now. Like don't let him live. Because like Sang Sung's whole plot here, Raiden and Sang Sung were probably the weakest here too. Like way weaker than Cole. But if they were to show that was the motivation why Sang Sung wanted to intervene in the tournament before before it actually started, maybe it would have made more sense.
God, Jezzer, I gotta say that's a great point. That actually fixes a lot of the problems I kind of have with that movie. That actually would make it solid and actually does make the plot more sense to involve Cole. I'll even add that a theory I had for this movie is I thought the movie was going to end with Cole becoming Scorpion.
Same. That's what I thought was going to happen the whole time too.
Like
when he
if
gets
he's
the
a descendant of Scorpion,
yellow,
then he becomes he gets Scorpion's abilities, or he will look more like the Scorpion in the video games. I assume that's what the route was, and maybe it'll be a Ghost Rider thing where he has to say goodbye to his family and be Scorpion for the rest of his life, but they're protected. That's kind of shit.
Justin, I agree with you because that was my theory too, though, because you see that when he keeps getting flashbacks of his ancestor, the actual Scorpion in hell, who's always saying like "let me out." It's like, so the whole time it feels like they're building it up, especially after he gets the braid and everything. It's like, oh, you're going to let him out and he's going to possess you. That's how he gets back, and he goes back and forth, which is like, that's logical. That makes sense. This dude just becomes Scorpion, and like you said, become a Ghost Rider type character. Instead, we get fake ass Colossus. But keep going.
I don't even know what that thing, the character design on his whatever. What do they call it? Ikanas is what they.
That's their excuse for the superpowers, as they call it in this version of the.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, I might add, to start it's one of those things that none of the other fighting game movies have ever done, is to actually justify or even fucking do the special moves, like when Liu Kang did his fireball in the movie, I sat there and went, how long I wanted to see the fucking, like Liu Kang, Ryu throw a fireball in any of these goddamn movies. Like a proper fireball, not a BS fireball, or not even do it. I just wanted one with a goddamn fireball. And finally in Liu Kang's first appearance, I actually get it. It took 3 Mortal Kombat movies and 0 Street Fighter movies for me to get there,
Yeah.
But it's kind of a weird reach, to say that like, oh, you have to practice and learn your special move is basically what it is.
I think definitely all of these aspects a lot of people have with the film is hindered by time, or like what they felt the time limit they had on it. Because if they were to spend more time building up the Akanas or building up the story, I think that a lot of the other flaws that they had would have been forgiven.
I think if the characters were popping more, that's the thing, is like I will stand by the first movie that the characters were at least funny, fun, engaging. They had a good rapport with each other. Whenever you see like Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny team up, like in that one fight with the ninjas, it was kind of cool, And like Luke, Raiden has a great personality. I'm always a big fan of the bit where Johnny's fighting Goro, he does a good hit, and Raiden's like, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Like, and what kills me is a lot of these guys in the cast, they could have done it. Like the actor who played Raiden is great. He's like one of the best Japanese actors around. I've loved him in a lot of movies.
Thor. I mean, he I was sad to see him go in Thor.
I agree, and he's great. He's a fantastic actor, and I know he could have been super funny and super interesting as Raiden, but they regulated him to,
and they regulated him just like as like a post, or not like he had he didn't have any involvement in anything.
No.
Because they regulate, like the whole like backstory was given for Kung Lao and Liu Kang to explain it to them. I just think that I think what they did they put way too much focus on becoming a video game accurate with the action scenes and the fight and the fatalities and the gore, which I thought like I enjoyed a lot because it did feel very authentic to what the game is now, definitely what the game is now. But by focusing too much effort and money into that, a lot of things slip through.
Not the script. We're not focusing on the script. No, like when Kung Lao did the buzzsaw thing with his hat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's dope.
Perfect.
But you notice that with the script a couple times too, because like there's that point where they establish at the end that Raiden can teleport anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, so why didn't you just go and gather all these tools at the beginning then?
Yes, yeah. This is
it just
there's a lot of things like that in this movie where you are certain there. It's like the logic goes away.
Yeah.
And which is like I think that is a flaw in this movie where it's like there's not enough fun. There's some fun, in my opinion. I had some fun with it, but there's not enough of it for me distracted by the logic like that. Like I would have not cared by that if like the fight scenes were amazing, which they're okay, go ahead, Johnny. Yeah.
I was saying the emails because we're talking about a movie where like people shoot fireballs and do all these things and whatnot. But the thing about it is though, is that when you think about like other movie franchises, like there's movie franchises where like there's Magic Knights that use laser swords. The reason why those works is because there's a sense of disbelief there that you allow it because everything else is like falling into place. The story makes enough sense, the acting is good enough, so you're willing to I'll let some things slide. But like once you get to this place where like the acting isn't always there because you're not using the characters properly. Again, like the story doesn't make any sense because there's like too many plot holes here and there. Again, it just starts to fall apart in a lot of areas. Where it's like it just don't make sense, and it takes away from it.
Here's the thing: like anyone who's who's watched this before as a trio knows that the show that we got to become friends and we got to know each other in terms of our taste and stuff is henshin shows, tokusatsu shows.
Kamen Rider Build, baby.
Kamen Rider Build. Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers. So everyone knows we have the ability to suspend disbelief when we watch these shows.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, I know this stuff is stupid. But you know what? Make the story, give me good characters. Keep your internal logic, make that make sense, and I'll let go of so much BS. I'll let it go. Like when we watch, like I can list all the things in the Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Ranger shows that doesn't make any sense in reality, and I'll tell you point blank why I don't care. Because overall I love watching it. This is a movie where it's like it has the ability to let me suspend my disbelief and go, okay, fine. Give me some great action. Give me some fun characters. Keep your eternal logic in check, and I'll be totally cool with your stupid movie.
Yeah,
it has a hard time doing all of that.
What do you think? Where do you think on the studio side? Where do you think that they failed?
At the studio side, overthinking it. I think overthinking the whole thing. It's like the original movie was fun. The video game is fun. Let's be real. The video game isn't Shakespeare.
They're like a lot of people like, oh, the video game, it's not real to the video game. It's like the video game has no real story. There's no story there. There's nothing. Like they just throw things and the continuity isn't even there. There's no continuity whatsoever.
No.
I tried
to look into the continuity one time because I remember it was like their anniversary. And so I was looking into it and they actually built some story there. It was like Sonya and Johnny do together. They have a daughter who's a character now and like all this other stuff, whatever. But like you said though, when I looked at the story, that shit don't make no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's just some shit that's just convolutedly thrown together. It's like, hey, would it be cool if Liu Kang was a zombie? Fuck it, let's make Liu Kang a zombie. Wait, what? Yeah. And so it's just a lot of shit that don't make sense. I will say, for my opinion, the way the studio fails is Cole Young. Because the thing about it is the reason why you buy a property is because you already have existing material. You just take that and you translate the screen because you already have built-in stories, you already have a built-in fan base, all these different things. You don't buy like Marvel and say, hey, let's throw Cole Young into Captain America. No, you don't do that. Because again, you already have Captain America, you have Falcon, you have all these existing toys to play with. So again, putting him there, it overcomplicated things, and that's what you saw because it also takes away from nostalgia. When Cole's doing something, we never get excited because we don't care about him because we don't know who he is. Yeah. When Scorpion comes at the end and like he throws the spear through Sub-Zero, and you hear him say, "Get over here!" We all fanboy. We're like, "Oh, he said the line! Oh, he said the line!" But when Cole's getting beat up, you see his chest going red. It's like, Is that hurting him? Is that a power up? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no
Stabs dude,
explanation.
is that your
No
finisher? It's just you just don't know, and that kind of takes away from the whole thing.
I will say that the biggest disappointment about this for me is that I wish I was in a theater with a crowded audience watching this movie, because I think I know where they were hoping for some big hell yeah moments for the audience.
Yeah.
And I can see it. And even if I walked out of the theater going, and the movie's all right, but it was dope watching it with everybody because we all got hyped for the same dumb shit. You know?
Yeah,
like
maybe the reaction would be different. Like maybe
I agree. Like if when Scorpion shows up and says, "Get over here," guaranteed all of us went, "Yeah!" Or like one of my favorite nerdy bits is when Liu Kang is like testing out Kano, and he just keeps doing the leg sweep thing, which I'm like, do you know how many assholes have done that to me?
Yeah,
so good.
Playing
I
that
hate that.
game.
No Harry Potter shit, all right? Cute. Real cute. Let's see you try down again. That the only move you know, mate? Oh, fuck.
Guilty.
Good.
I do that. I do that all the time.
So good. It's so
I do that all the time.
No,
If I'm backed into a wall, it's like I gotta go with the sweep. I'm sorry.
When he did that, I sat there and went, "You did." I'll actually say that's where it might be good video game adaptation, because like you said, Jezzer, I have done that. I have been a victim of that. I have never seen that actually. I've never seen a video gamey thing in a video game adaptation that actually makes sense logistically into the movie. So I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Go ahead.
I also love the Kano does what everyone tries to do, where you try to predict it, but the person waits for you, and it comes out and then does it, which I was like, genius. It's just such so well done.
Another scene like that I thought was like I fucking loved was when Sub-Zero created that wall that he threw Scorpion through. That move is like iconic. But one of the things that I hate, like the casting, they got like 80% of them correct, like good. There's 2 castings that I did not agree with, not so much with the casting, but the inclusion of some characters. Reiko, who was the white guy that Jax was fighting.
Yeah, the big hammer guy.
Yeah, made no sense for him to be in there. If you look up the original character, they look nothing alike. And Melina's character made no sense in including her, because Melina's character, her origin is that she's a failed clone of Kitana, and with the blood of like Baraka. When they included her and not explain where Kitana is, they showed the fan fine, but it didn't make any sense, and they didn't like go full blown with the Baraka blood, like having her have like an open
mouth and everything.
No, I agree.
I agree, because there's another character too, the dude who's like does the teleporting and everything like that, who says like Kano's the reason why I'm in this iron lung.
Oh, Cabal,
like Cabal, which is like, okay, but all right, why though? And who are you? And how the hell did you end up in Outworld? And like, it just brings up too many questions.
Cabal was one of my favorite characters growing up, though. Like he was.
Oh, he's dope.
I was so excited when they actually included him, because in Annihilation, all they did was name drop him. They didn't actually add him to. They're like, oh yeah, we captured 2 other Earth Realm fighters, Stryker and Cabal, and then it's like, oh what?
Stryker, the security guard. Yeah, I remember him. Okay, so wait, so we're a little bit
one
more
more thing.
Okay.
Well, I do want to say one more thing. I did hear that the director. I did an interview a while back with the director was like asking like, how about the theme song? Is the theme song going to be included? And the director's like, I know how important that theme song is, and the composer said, "Well, don't worry, we'll find a way to include it." So I was a little relieved to actually hear it. It is kind of cool. I wish there was more of it, but I was kind of happy to hear.
Where did it play at? It was with Sonya, right?
So it played when Cole gets his stupid gold armor for the first time, and then, but it also plays when Liu Kang does his bicycle kick.
Yeah.
And in the big finale, with Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Cole, it is played over there.
It's so subtle.
It's subtle. I'm glad it's there. I would want more, but I'm glad it's there.
I'm actually the reverse though. I do want it there, but I didn't like that way of it because it was so subtle though. Because like you said, Jess, you didn't hear it. I had to keep listening for it, and again, as I was listening for it, because I did see it in the theater. It It was empty though, sadly. But I mean, that might be a good thing, pandemic and all.
Right.
But as I'm watching it or whatever, it was just like I had to like, wait, is that it? And I'm just I'm trying to get hyped. It's like then it was gone again. And it was too composed and everything like that for me. Like just for me personally, it wasn't strong enough.
For me, it's like I'm gonna give it an A for effort to just attempting to be there, because normal times they'll even go that far. That being said, like one of my current pet peeves is Hollywood loving to just hide music in their feature films, like iconic themes for some reason. I don't know why that's the thing they like doing. It's like they're afraid of it, or
like Mulan.
Like Marvel movies. I think Star Wars is the only franchise that's allowed to let its theme songs fly. But like even Justice League, all that shit. So it's like I'm kind of tired of it. I mean, that's my favorite part of movies, is when I can hum a theme song, and and it's like we all agree the Mortal Kombat theme song is fire, and like why don't just give it to us? Like if it's gonna give me an orchestral version, let me hear it. Like put it in there.
Yeah, because especially about the fights and everything. But okay, so we have a few minutes left. We've gone a little bit over time, so we're gonna wrap up really quickly. So just to go around really quickly, Jezzer, we'll start with you. Would you recommend Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I would recommend it as a fun film, and I feel like I think they're gonna make more, and I think that it's a great starting off film for the franchise that they're trying to build.
For sure, Jess.
Yeah, no, it's just keep your expectations low. Get a couple of alcohols and grab a pizza.
Yeah,
just have fun with it. Don't overthink it. It's not perfect, but I think I'm with you. I'm with Jezzer in that, like, if they're gonna keep going, all right, well, learn from what you did wrong here and make it better. But you know what? I will say it's kind of wild to think that the only two video game movies I've liked was Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat. So you know what?
You didn't like Assassin's Creed? Huh?
You didn't like any of the Resident Evils? Not even the first one?
No.
Hey, it's okay. We got Uncharted coming out soon, so hopefully that.
Oh God, well, we'll see. And I have friends who love the Super Mario Bros. Movie. That's fine. It's not for me. So like,
I feel you. For me, I would say definitely recommend it. Like, here's the thing: it does some intangible things really well. We talked about the casting; it has a great diverse cast. It's actually casting Asian American actors in this role, which is dope. And again, we talked about this like during our Asian Pacific Heritage Month, like that's coming up for May. You got to go out and support these movies, get more of these people cast in more projects. There's some great stuff here. Studios just need to stay out of it, because again, those first 7 minutes, whatever original draft of that script was, you need to hire that person back and let them keep going. So guess it'll be dope. Because it also passed my wire test too. You got people of different colors and creeds. You got Jackson there. You got like Asian American actors. You got a little bit of everybody there. It's dope. Could have just passed the Bechdel test by giving Sony somebody to talk to, introducing another couple of female characters and everything like that, which Mortal Kombat does have. It actually has a lot of female characters. You should just figure out ways to bring those in and everything like that. But I agree. I think it's a great starting block. I think you have something decent here to build from. Keep going, and hopefully it gets better. But all that said, again, thanks to Jezzer for coming through. We appreciate you, fam. There's +Diversity. Jez, you got anything you want to plug before we head out?
Yeah, you could check out the Illuminati, and you could also check out the Villains Cast. I got this. They created some really cool shirts. I don't have it on me. It's a Stop Asian Hate sweater. Self-made designs made it, and I think that's pretty dope. So
that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. Again, thanks for coming on, fam. Appreciate you. And as always, thanks for coming by Disney+Diversity. This has been an episode of +Diversity. We out.
Flawless victory.
Nice.
Weak, pathetic fools. I've come for your souls.
I don't think so.